Here we are down at the chutes at the Calgary Stampede, and I'm joined by Rick Palumbi, our Director of Research. Welcome, Rick.
Thanks, Kevin.
Rick leads the research team and is involved in all of our equity and fixed income portfolios. So Rick, one of the questions, well, actually I had quite a few questions, but a lot of the questions we received from clients was around the amount of stimulus in government debt that's been issued to deal with this pandemic.
Yeah.
And so do investors need to be concerned about the amount of government debt that's been issued, and what are our thoughts on this topic?
Yeah, I think, there's been a lot of stimulus, obviously, because the pandemic has wreaked havoc, of course, on the global economy. And I think the key to really understanding this is that this is truly global, and the fact that all these governments have had to actually spend a lot of money to fill in the gap that the pandemic has caused in their economies means that, generally speaking, we're not that concerned about it. And the reason is that because the governments have all had to spend a lot of money on an absolute level, but relatively speaking, they are all, and we are all, in the same boat. So the first chart we're going to show is just a table that just basically says that the major economies in the world, US, EU, Japan, have all spent about 40% of their GDP on, filling the hole that COVID has caused. So that in and of itself means that, we're all spending that much, so we're not any worse off than we were before. When we think about, how much we've spent, the next chart shows, the pre-COVID and the post-COVID bar charts. And you can see that it's the US that on the relative basis has spent more. But, are we really concerned about the US? I don't think so. I think the US can easily fund its debt, and I think we're fine with that. Another example would be Canada just got downgraded by Fitch, citing what happened with COVID, and bond yields barely budged on it. So this is well telegraphed. It's well understood that debt will go up. It's well understood that balanced budgets, will occur down the road, but they're going to occur in every country. So I think from that standpoint, as investors, we're not and don't need to be that concerned about it.
Right. Okay. So on an absolute basis, debt levels are going up, but on a relative basis, we're staying about the same. So
we're all in the same boat.
And as you said, governments are issuing huge amounts of debt right now, and investors are lined up to buy that debt at very low interest rates.
Correct.
So,
exactly.